So in summary of what I was talking about, I talked about the common media that are used in distance learning. So we talked about the radio, okay, we talked about the audio teleconferencing, we talked about the tapes, now we talked about also the video tapes, that all these, the TV, the tapes and so on, all these are part and parcel of enhancing training, facilitating teaching, as well as learning environment for our learners. So all these are coming, they're centered in the area of education technology. Okay, so going to for another point or another section, this we have another one, which is computer-based, computer-assisted learning, CAL, computer-assisted learning. That's another company. I think this is the last one, the last component. So computer-assisted learning. This is one that has been taken up all the learning aspect of it, all aspect of teaching and learning with the computer. It has come. We are not learning about computers. No, we are learning. We are teaching and learning with computers. That's what we mean. We don't say we are teaching and learning about computers. No, but we are saying teaching and learning with computers. You must get this one as very, very serious. So the advent of e-learning, which is the product that is looking at the World Wide Web, satellite computers and application of education, it has changed the theories. It has changed the scope. It has changed the methods and the means on how education, and in particular distance learning, is provided. Okay? So with the introduction of all this, under this period, we are seeing that there's a lot of activities going on in terms of advancement in technology in relationship to education. Okay? So most of the advantages there, we talk about the advantages. So we are saying computer-assisted learning, this one provides individual instruction. So some of the materials or study materials that are uploaded on the computers or on the internet, they are self-explanatory lectures. Okay, they are individualized, meaning that if it's me or you are seated there and then you're uploading those materials at individual level, you are following instruction at individual level. Thus, the learner can be allowed to go at his own pace or at his own rate, depending on his or her interest and the readiness to learn that particular subject. So the candidate, or you as candidate, you have that ability, you have that interest. So it's up to you. You can decide, say, today, am I going to learn? Do you have interest in this course? For your own information, you students that are listening to this lecture of mine, you must develop a keen interest in these computer-assisted learning technologies for you to be effective as a learner, to grasp the knowledge so that you achieve your goals. As a teacher, what is more important, you must have also the knowledge to understand how to use these gadgets, okay? How to use them and how to can package the study material and you deliver it. So basically, it encourages to master. So as learners or as educators, you need to know to master the subject matter. You need to master it such that, you master the content such that you deliver at the right time. So what are some of the limitations? Of course, we talked about the advantages. It's like the advantages are more than the disadvantages. Let's look at maybe the issue of limitation or disadvantages. Okay, the cost of maintenance of computers sometimes is a hindrance to the use of computer-assisted learning, okay, and online learning. Because the cost of computers, how much is the cost of a computer today? A good computer or even a laptop, so a bit expensive, and sometimes you want now you have 100 number of learners, so meaning that you need to have, acquire or buy 100 computers, and then when it comes now to maintenance, okay, maintenance is another thing. You have bought them, they're new, but in terms of use, you need to maintain them. or maybe the battery got finished, you need to buy the battery for that particular computer, or maybe the screen has got some cracks, so you may want to repair that one and so on. So the cost of maintenance of the is becoming very high. Many institutions, they're having that challenge. Okay, looking at Zambia, for example, is one of the, so it's difficult for Zambia even to start doing the maintenance. Or even other countries in the world, these are quite very, very. So it's not, the second limitation, it's not easy to design and produce the, computer assisted learning, tool, as well as online interactive packages. You know that these are not easy, they require expertise for you to have a package, for you to have the online course. Okay, so it's quite a big job, as well as it requires people that have experience in this. Another one is the nature of electricity supply. In the world today, we are complaining of the erratic supply of electricity. Load shedding is a story of the day. In many countries, load shedding, what. So with the problem that erratic supply of electricity, that can hinder the computer-assisted learning approach. You may not achieve, because maybe as we are talking here, we are using electricity. If it goes, are we going to be here? This will disrupt this, this lecture as I'm delivering. This is an example of computer-assisted learning. And we are talking about the supply of electricity. You see that the whole room here is littered with electricity. If it goes, it will be dark. Then it will be difficult for us to deliver. So those are some of the disadvantages of this. So let me just maybe sum up and then maybe wind up as we coming to the end of this lecture. Thank you very much. We have been very attentive students for participating. We have been participating actively and following what I was doing. So in this unit, basically, we have talked about the defined distance education. We talked about the different forms of distance education, open learning. We talked about flexible learning. We talked about e-learning. So as students, it's key to understand the distinction. We must be able to define distance education. You must be able to define open learning, flexible, and e-learning. So having discussed, we also went further to discuss some direct application to effectively provide distance education. We talked about the common media that you can use to deliver in distance learning. We talked about the radio advantages and disadvantages. We talked about the TV. We talked about the video tapes. We talked about the audio teleconferencing. All these are very, very important as students to ensure that you understand. It's very, very important. You have to understand and apply. So attempts in this unit, we tried to highlight both the advantages and disadvantages of each media. Okay, and we talked about the computer-assisted learning and also the advantages and disadvantages. So as a student, please, I encourage you to read more, to share, interact with your colleagues in this lecture. This is a very, very important thing because this is becoming a very important component in our education system. So please, as I wind up, I will close now for this session. We shall meet in the next lecture, but we can break for now. Thank you.